Hi, welcome back to a new reading vlog. It's May 1st. Should have started this vlog earlier today, but I didn't. So for this reading vlog, I've asked my friend Jamie to choose some books for me to read, and she was kind enough to choose 5 books from my TBR. And she did pretty good, I feel like, because she's forced me to continue on with series, and she's picked exclusively shelf warmers, so that's really good because I need to read those. So the first book she picked was Iron Widow by Siran J. Tsao. This book I've actually started reading today, so I'm about 60 pages in, so I haven't read like too much today because I read a lot yesterday for my other vlog. But this one basically about this girl. They live sort of in a caste society, and the guys have a high ki, is that what you call it? Sort of mental power, and they use that force to basically maneuver different sort of ships, and the girls are basically sacrificed because the guys will use their ki as well, and the girls usually end up dying. So we follow our main character, and she volunteers to become a concubine, I think they call it, to fly with this guy who actually killed her sister, who was his, +2 in that ship. I haven't read a lot, but so far it's a very quick read. I like the Asian influences on it, and a little bit of backstory, like their how they broke her feet and then like make her bandages on them to make them stay small and stuff like that, which I know is a thing, or used to be a thing at least, with the binding of the feet. Don't really have that many thoughts so far. It's an interesting concept. Anyways, this is the first book I'm reading, and I have sort of decided a reading order for this, to space out the different genres and stuff. And then we have a middle grade book called A Place Called Perfect by Helena Duggan. This is a book that Jamie has been wanting me to read for like forever. But basically we follow Violet. She moves into this new city called Perfect, and everyone has to wear glasses all the time because otherwise they will go blind. She hears some mysterious voices around town. Her mom starts acting weird. Her dad disappears, and she realizes that her family is not the only ones, affected by this town, and she tries to figure out what the hell is wrong, and she takes help from this guy named Boy, figure out what's going on. Then we have Blood for Blood by Ryan Rodden. This is the book 2 in Wolf by Wolf duology, and this is basically what would have happened if Hitler won the Second World War, and the main character can skin shift. She skin shift into this girl who is part of this sort of motorbike race around the Third Reich, and the winner will get to meet Hitler, which is a chance to kill him. So that's why she skins it into him. The first book was really a quick read, interesting read, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the second one. Okay, so my camera died yesterday, so couldn't be bothered. But now it's my second, and she's like 9:30 p.m. so it's quite late. Anyways, I have 2 more books to talk about, and the third book that is on my TBR for this reading vlog is Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales by Anna James, which is the second book in the Pages & Co. series. So basically, in the first book we meet Tilly, and she learns that in her grandparents' bookshop she can meet different literary characters like Anne of Green Gables and Alice in Wonderland, and she learns that maybe she's a book wanderer. So I think this one we're gonna meet Jack and the Beanstalk, and Little Red Riding Hood, and whoever that bear is supposed to be. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one because I really enjoyed the first book. And then the other book we have is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, and basically our main character is looking for a piece of scroll from the Scroll of 1,000 Prayers, and there's a lot of people after the scroll, because if you have all of the pieces then you can summon the great Kami dragon and ask for one wish. And basically the temple where the scroll is held burns to the ground, and our main character has to and the main character escapes with one piece of the scroll, and she has to join forces with Cage, whose job is to kill anyone who stands in his way to collect the scroll. It sounds interesting, so yeah. I picked up Iron Widow by Suran J. Sao first, and I did pretty good actually, because I read some pages on the bus on my way to work, and I read some pages on my break. So, I mean, has as a goal to read at least 30 pages a day, and I only had like 8 pages left to read by the time I got home. So now I'm on page 134, so I've gotten a bit into it, and I'm definitely going to try to read some more before falling asleep. I'm intrigued. I have a little bit of trouble keeping all the names apart because I suck at names, and some of them have similar names. But yeah, I like her. I think I like the main character. She's very. Sometimes she seems like she's a little bit crazy, to be honest. But I do like the world building, and there's interesting concept with these sort of machines that are powered by key, and we've met some new characters that you're trying to figure out if you can trust them or not. And yeah, I don't really have that many thoughts yet, but I'm intrigued. I do want to pick up the book. I'm interested to know what's going to happen, so that's always a good sign. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue reading. Hi, it's actually Saturday now. It's May 6th, and I gave up on sleep at 5 a.m. this morning because I could not fall asleep again, and I kept waking up, and I was just not having it anymore. So that's why I look like a zombie. Anyways, I ended up leaving the bed at like 6 a.m. After having read a little bit. And then I read for a few hours, fell asleep on the couch, and then I read some more. She's currently about 12:15, so I do need to go get some lunch, but I also have to go return some like old medication to the apothecary and shit, so I have some errands to run. But I just wanted to tell you guys about Iron Widow, which I ended up finishing a while ago. I have been doing some cleaning after that, so it was a while ago. But this is by Suran J. Sao, and this is the first book in a new. I don't know if it's going to be a duology. There's definitely another book coming out in April 2024. I already told you guys what this was about, but I like the fact that the main character is not like the good guy. She's kind of a morally gray character, if not evil, honestly. She does some very horrible and morbid stuff. She's definitely been through a lot, so I mean, you can kind of get it, but she likes to torture people and stuff. And I like reading characters that are sort of morally gray, because I find them very intriguing to like, why are you doing what you're doing? And it's also not like the most usual concept that you get to read from. So that was really interesting. I have such a hard time like collecting my thoughts about this book. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Was it a quick read? Yes, up until a certain point. The last 80 pages or something, I was struggling a little bit. I don't really know why. Maybe because the lack of sleep. But yeah, I didn't love the characters. And there was also some polygamy relationship going on, which I didn't really feel like was needed, because I didn't really love the love interest storyline at all for any of the 3 characters. So yeah, but maybe that's just me. Anyways, it had some cool elements with the like war, the politics going on, sort of the backstory to the war and stuff like that. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. And I think my next read is going to be a place called Perfect by Helena Duggan, and this one is, like I said earlier in the beginning of this vlog, about Violet, who moves to this new city where you have to wear glasses or you'll go blind. Her father disappears, her mother started acting strange, she started hearing voices, she meets this guy named Boy who she, joined forces with to figure out what the hell's wrong with the city. And Jamie is raving about this book so much. She's trying to get me to read it at least like 5 times. And now, Jamie, it's finally happening. I'm definitely in the mood for middle grade, so I think this one will be perfect. But yeah, let's read my second book of the vlog. So it's Sunday now. I realize I've been wearing the same shirt in every clip. I swear I washed it in between. Anyways, I'm about halfway through a place called Perfect. More than halfway through, actually. And I just want to tell you guys what I've been thinking about it so far. This is a really quick read. I'm flying through this book, honestly. I really do like the main character, Violet. She's definitely trying to figure shit out. Everything in this town is so mysterious and strange, and all the adults act very strange. They're very strict with their rules. If you break even the tiniest of rules, like picking up your pencil in school without asking for permission, you're gonna get in trouble. So it's very like over the top with the rules and everything like that, which Violet thinks is like really weird. I mean, who wouldn't? So I really like the world that Duggan has made up in this one. I like the family dynamics between Violet and her parents, until they disappear or start acting very strange. And we also meet her found friend Boy, who is very mysterious himself. We don't really know a lot about him. We don't really know where he comes from or who he is. So that's sort of a mystery throughout the book as well. Where I'm at this point, we have learned a little bit, but mostly just more question marks, basically. And I'm really interested, like... Okay, so I don't want to spoil anything, but you know who the bad guys are, because that's like pretty prominent in the book. But it's interesting to figure out how everything is connected, how everything works, because it seems sort of a magical, whimsical sort of twist on an ordinary city. And I just want to know how it all ended up like this, and I'm really interested in finding out how it's all gonna wrap up. Are they gonna find Violet's father and everything like that? And yeah, so far, being a little bit more than halfway through, I can definitely see myself continue on with this trilogy. So, thanks, Jamie. More books I need to buy. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one, actually. It's definitely a lot of drama, a lot of shit happening, a lot of stuff that can go wrong at any minute. And yeah, it's intense. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very intense. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So my goal for today is hopefully to finish this one so I can move on to my next read. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, next time I'll see you guys is probably when this is finished, no matter when it is. So yeah. Hi, so it's Saturday, it's May 13th, and I haven't updated you in like a week almost. If I sound weird, it's because allergies are killing me right now. Anyways, I thought it was time to update you guys. So I did end up finishing a place called Perfect by Helena Duggan on Sunday, very late at Sunday. She was like almost midnight, I think. But I really did enjoy it. Was a lot of plot twists, interesting characters, interesting sort of world, and kind of like magical aspects, I suppose. I really liked Violet's blossoming friendship with the character called Boy, and a lot of drama. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I am a little bit skeptical on how they're going to make this into a trilogy, though, because there's 3 books out, and we're like, what's the next book gonna be about? Like, it felt pretty complete to me. So yeah, we'll see about that. But I did really enjoy it. It was a really, really quick read. And yeah, I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. And then after that, Monday, I picked up Blood for Blood by Ryan Graden. This is the second book in the Wolf by Wolf duology. And I've gone a little bit into it. I've been like averaging on about 35 pages a day, and that's all I've read because I am so exhausted after work I pass out. So yeah, and the only reason I've managed to read even 30 pages is because I've been reading the book like on my way to work and sometimes on my break at work. I have been reading a little bit this morning. She's currently like almost noon, but I'm on page 190 out of like 570 something. I don't know. This is a very quick read though. I did say earlier what this book was about, so I'm not gonna get too much into it. But basically, the first book is about what would have happened if Hitler won the Second World War. There's a lot of revolutions going on, a lot of death, torture, trying to survive the day basically. And just like the first book, this book is really, really quick read. Like I feel like you can read a lot of pages in not that much of a time. But at the same time, I feel like so far I'm not as invested in this one as I was in the first one. I feel I was more compelled by the storyline in the first book, racing through the Reich on motorbikes and a lot of drama happening around that. And this is basically just the repercussions from the first book. So this takes place right after that one ends. And I mean, I can definitely see why Jamie likes it, but I don't know. I think so far I prefer the first one. So we'll see how this one goes. Yeah, I don't have that many thoughts about it so far. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully I will be able to get a lot further into this one today. But yeah. So I ended up finishing Blood by Blood, Blood for Blood, by Ryan Graden, a little bit more than a week ago. And then I realized, like, in the back of the book, there was also this novella called Iron to Iron. So I read that too, which was not really part of this, like, TBR from Jamie. But anyways, I did it. It's fine. I didn't enjoy, unfortunately, Blood for Blood as much as I enjoyed Wolf by Wolf? Wolf for Wolf? I'm confused. Anyways, I didn't enjoy it as much. Felt like the sort of... I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening technically, but there's a lot of travel back and forth. And you guys know it's hard for me to read that. Like, some specific cases it works, but most of the time not. I just wasn't as intrigued by the story or the characters anymore. Like, I felt like first book didn't exactly wrap up very good, but you know, I felt satisfied. Anyways, so I ended up giving that book 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then of course I read Iron to Iron, the novella, which is actually from Luca's point of view. So basically it's the first book again, just from his point of view. And I didn't really feel like I needed that, honestly, because it might have been a year since I read the first book. But I still remember it pretty well, and I don't really necessarily want to read it again. Because it's like exactly the same, just from his point of view. So I ended up giving that 3 out of 5 stars. But at least I finished it, so, you know. I'm finished with the duology, which is nice, because it's like the second series I finished this year. And sure, it's a duology, but it still counts, you know. So I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, I haven't picked up Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tale. Because I'm doing multiple reading vlogs at the same time, because for some reason I thought that would be a good idea. Anyways, so I haven't picked that one up yet, but I'm planning to do it hopefully like later in the week. So I'll update you guys when I'm ready to pick it up and give you a sort of a summarization about what it's all about. So it's actually June 6th. It's Sweden's National Day. Is that the word? And I'm off work. So I've been trying to read some. I actually started my 4th book of this challenge. So this is Tilly and Lost Fairy Tales, which is book 2 in Pages and Co. I think there's 5 books out, 4 or 5, and this is by Anna James. I read the first book just a few months ago, and I really enjoyed it, and this is a really good continuation. And I started this on Sunday, and now it's Tuesday, and I've gotten quite far, I'd say. I'm on page 251, and my goal is definitely to finish it today. I feel like time-wise I haven't spent a lot of time reading this book, but I'm flying through it and it's very interesting. And as always, I love the book wandering aspects. So far we have been in Jack and the Beanstalk, we have been in Little Red Riding Hood, and Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Is that how you say it in English? So we've seen some stories already, and I'm really enjoying it. It's such a quick read, it has beautiful illustrations. I love Tilly and Oscar's friendship. Of course, they get into a shitload of trouble as always, and I'm interested to find out how it's all gonna wrap up. So yeah, I'm gonna try to finish this today. I do have like a dinner with my family at 5 today, currently 10 a.m. So I do have a couple of hours. I do have some other stuff I have to do as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one, so I'll take the time to read it. Okay, so I should have updated you guys a few days ago. So I actually ended up finishing Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales on Tuesday. I'm not very good at the updating part, am I? But this is the 2nd book in the Pages and Co series, and we do get to see some fairy tales. I think I mentioned them earlier in the vlog, but it was intense. Like Jack and the Beanstalk, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Rapunzel, Little Red Riding Hood. They're definitely a little bit different from what you remember them from. There's a lot of adventures going on in this one. I mean, Tilly and Oscar cannot help but get into trouble, as always. I do really like their friendship, but I also feel like Tilly gets Oscar into a lot of trouble for no reason, and she's very naive while he is, you know, not, but she never listens to him anyway, so she always gets them in trouble. But on the other hand, they're kids. So this was a really quick read. I flew through this book so fast. I really enjoyed it. I do want to invest in the 3rd book so I can continue on with the series. There's a couple of books out. I think it's 4, possibly even 5 books out. So I'm really happy about having more books to read. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a very strong sequel, and I think I ended up liking it a little bit more than the first one, which is not usual because I usually prefer the first book of a series because I like the build-up and stuff. But yeah, I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. And the next book, which I am going to pick up as soon as I put down the camera, is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This is the 5th and final book for this reading vlog, which is highly awaited to wrap up. And this is supposed to be a YA fantasy, and basically a lot of people are looking for this ancient scroll, and you need all of the pieces for the scroll to be able to summon this Kami dragon who can grant you one wish. And we get to follow 2 different characters who are out after the scroll, and they're on sort of different sides of the whole agenda. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I did like skim through the first page to see what the writing style was like, because I haven't read a Julie Kagawa book before, but I did like it, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it will be a quick read, because that's definitely what I need. Hi everyone, it's actually June 24th. I know I haven't updated you guys in, I want to say forever, but like 2 weeks maybe. I'm still reading Shadow of the Fox. I'm currently on page 290, so I have like I want to say 160, 170 pages left, and I'm not really enjoying it. Like, I've been reading maybe like 20 pages a day, and maybe on the weekend I read a little bit more, but I don't really care about the characters that much. It's just, they're just traveling, and you guys know I have trouble with that unless it's done really well. They're traveling from point A to point B, trying to find a piece of the magical scroll, and I'm bored. Honestly, I'm bored, and I feel like I'm a little bit forcing myself to read it. So I'm not really liking it as much as I hoped I would. The only time when I was like really interested was when shit went down at the temple, to be honest, because that was intense. But then after that, not so much. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to power through this one and hopefully be able to finish it soon so I can wrap up this vlog, because it's been going on for weeks at this point. But yeah, not a new favorite, unfortunately. Hi, so it's been a while since I last updated. It's actually June 30th now, so it's been a few weeks. But I did end up finishing Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa earlier tonight, and unfortunately I have to say that this was maybe not for me. I was intrigued by the concept with like samurais and stuff and like a magical scroll, but I just felt like it was too much traveling, not enough happened. I didn't really care that much about the characters. It was not enough action or intrigue for me, and I felt like it was just the last few chapters that bumped up the rating for me. Otherwise it would have gotten even lower, and I'm really sad because I really thought I would like this a lot more than I did. So unfortunately I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars, and like I said, the ending bumped it up for me. So other than that ending, it would have been like 2.5 out of 5 stars, because unfortunately I was mostly a little bit bored with it. So yeah, that wraps up this vlog. So since it's been so long, I'm gonna try to remember all of the books I read and what I thought about them, so I can summarize for you guys. But Jamie chose 5 books for me, and I have all read them, and I enjoyed a lot of them. So we're just gonna go from the list I got from Jamie, because I don't even remember which order I read them in anymore. So Tilly and Lost Fairy Tales by Anna James. Loved it. Such a good sequel. I love the book wandering aspect. I love Tilly and her friendship with Oscar, even though Tilly drives me a little bit insane because she's so naive, but yet again, she's a child. So I ended up giving this book, I think, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I will correct my ratings if I say something wrong, because I honestly don't remember. And then Blood for Blood was the sequel to Wolf by Wolf. This was also a book with a lot of traveling. Jamie, what are you doing to me? But it's historical fiction. It's definitely a different twist to the whole Second World War, and you know, Hitler being the winner of the war, basically. A little bit too much travel for me. I did enjoy the first book more than I enjoyed this one, because it dragged a little bit sometimes, but it did definitely have interesting plot points as well. And I ended up giving this book 3.5 out of 5 stars, I believe. Then I read A Place Called Perfect by Helena Duggan. This was such a quick read, a fun middle grade. I really enjoyed this one. I flew through it. I really want to continue on with the series. I liked Violet and her friendship with the boy. I liked the sort of whimsical, weird, sort of creepy feeling that you got from the town Perfect. It was some interesting plot twists and turns, to say the least. Yeah, I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars. And then we have Shadow of the Fox, which I just mentioned that I thought was too much traveling and I didn't really connect with the characters, and not enough happened. So 3 out of 5 stars. And then the last book I read, which was technically the first book I read, I remember that much, was Iron Widow by Jae Sun-soo. Sorry, really bad at remembering names. This definitely had interesting plot, some interesting war aspects. I always loved reading a book about war for some reason, 'cause that means it's gonna be a lot of action, and there was also a lot of like twists and turns and a lot of questions, and I like it when you get like answer to your questions, but then there's more questions that you want answers to as well. And didn't love the romances going on in this book, and there were several. I did not enjoy any of them. I felt that they were a little bit out of place and unnecessary, to be honest. But I ended up giving this book 4 out of 5 stars as well. So those were all of the 5 books that I read for this vlog. Definitely took me longer than I originally planned, because this was meant for my May TBR, and now June is over. But that's what happens when you try to make too many reading vlogs at the same time. But I'm done, I'm finished. I hope you guys enjoyed it, even though it took a long time to get up. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I'll definitely, if Jamie's willing, ask her to choose more books for me in the future. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this vlog, and I hope you have a good day or night, and I hope we see each other in the next one. Bye!